So for step 30, attaching the front gearbox. Well, there's one other thing that we're going to need to do in this step, and that is attach the drive shaft that's going from the rear to the front. Because you can see that as you slide this in, that needs to go in at the same time. So we're going to grease up both ends, slide it into the front, then this is going to slide down inside the gearbox, and you can see that there are 2 screws that are going to go in on either side to hold this in place. And I'm sure we'll end up screwing something else in place as well, because it only seems like there's 2 screws to attach that whole gearbox to the chassis. So I'm sure there's something else that we're going to do at a later date. But for now, that's what we're doing. So I'll set this up and let's attach it to the chassis. So if we grab the chassis, we know that we're going to need to grease this propeller shaft up and be able to stick it in there, and then it's going to go into the front. So right off the bat, let's grease this up. And we'll do the same with the other side. Go. And so we'll end up sticking this into, and you can see the drive line right down there. That's going to go inside of there. And then we're going to grab our front gearbox, and same thing, only now we need to slide that into there. And then this is going to slide in on either side, and you can see that it's a tight fit, so I just had to pull this a little bit out so that it sat down properly, so that ultimately that's what it's going to look like. But these 2 screws are going to fit into here on either side. So if we take this one, let's make sure that it's actually going to sit in there properly. And I'm going to grab the other one as well, because the way this is sitting, I just want to make sure that it's going into the holes properly. And I can tell that it's not. Oh, it is. Okay. Let's make sure that's going in correctly. Okay, so this is fine. And again, I just want to make sure that it's going in properly. So I'm going back and forth, making sure that there's no binding with this as I do it. That's all nice and solid. And we'll do the same on this side. And that's all nice and solid. So there we go. Those are the initial 2 screws that are holding this gearbox to the chassis. But I really like the look of that. Like, that looks pretty sharp. Very, very cool. Awesome. So that is the end of step 30. So we can now move on to step 31, and we're going to attach the bumper and also do some final adjustments with the servo, making sure that these are lined up properly.